Welcome to English Empire, the perfect place to learn English and take your skills to the next level. Whether you're just starting or looking to refine your speaking, you're in the right place. In today's lesson, we're focusing on something incredibly powerful: how to train your mouth to speak English fluently. This is more than just learning vocabulary or grammar. It's about making your mouth move naturally and confidently in English. If you're ready to improve your speaking and make English feel effortless, be sure to hit like, drop a comment with your thoughts or questions, and subscribe for more helpful lessons. Let's dive in and get started. Have you ever felt that strange moment when you know exactly what you want to say in English, but when you try to speak, the words get stuck? Your mind is full of vocabulary, but your tongue doesn't seem to cooperate. You might remember the sentence in your head perfectly, but when it's time to speak, everything feels slow, confusing, or even embarrassing. You're not alone. In fact, this is one of the most common problems English learners face. And the reason is simple. There is a difference between knowing English and speaking English. Knowing English means you understand grammar rules. You recognize words when you read or listen. You can translate sentences in your mind. Speaking English means your mouth, tongue, lips, breath, and brain all work together automatically. Words come out smoothly without thinking too hard. You express yourself instead of just remembering rules. So, the real skill you need to build is speech muscle memory, training your mouth to move the way English requires. Think about athletes. A football player doesn't improve just by studying football strategies. They train their muscles every day. A musician doesn't learn piano by only reading sheet music. They practice the movements with their hands until it becomes natural. Speaking English works exactly the same way. Your mouth is like a set of muscles. If your first language is Kurdish, Arabic, Turkish, Spanish, Chinese, or any other language, your mouth is trained to move in the patterns of that language. The rhythm is different. The shape of the vowels is different. Even your breathing while speaking is different. That means, if you want to speak English fluently, you must train your mouth to move in English patterns, not just memorize grammar rules. And this is where graded readers come in. What are graded readers and why are they powerful? Graded readers are books written specifically for English learners. They come in levels: beginner, elementary, pre-intermediate, intermediate, upper intermediate, and advanced. But the magic of graded readers is not in the story itself. The magic is in the language design. Short, clear sentences, useful everyday vocabulary, repetition of common sentence patterns, simple grammar that increases step by step. Why is that important? Because your mouth needs repetition of correct English patterns to build fluency. Think about a sentence like, I didn't have time this morning, so I grabbed a quick coffee. If you read this sentence aloud 10 times, slowly and clearly, you will start to notice your tongue finds the rhythm. Your breathing adjusts. Words start to connect naturally. This is physical fluency training, not just mental study. And that is the key to speaking confidently. Why do learners get stuck when speaking? Most learners study English like this. 1. Memorize new words. 2. Study grammar rules. 3. Do writing exercises. 4. Listen to some videos. This helps you understand English, but understanding alone doesn't produce fluent speech. When you speak in your first language, the process in your brain is automatic. You don't think about grammar. You don't translate. You just speak. But when speaking English, many learners translate word by word from their native language, worry about grammar mistakes, and think too much while speaking. This slows everything down. So the goal is to build a new pathway in your brain, one where English words and phrases come automatically. How do we do that? By training the mouth and brain together. And the easiest tool for that is reading aloud, especially using graded readers. The bicycle example, learning through the body. Imagine trying to learn to ride a bicycle only by reading a book about balance. No matter how many times you read the book, once you get on the bike, you'll still fall. That's because balancing requires your body, not just your mind. Speaking works the same way. You can know all the rules, but your mouth must be trained to do the speaking. That's why you may understand native speakers perfectly, but still speak slowly. Your mouth muscles simply need more training. How graded readers build fluency, explained simply. A lot of learners spend most of their time studying English instead of training English, and these two are very different activities. When you're studying English, you're usually doing things like reading silently, memorizing vocabulary lists, learning grammar rules, and listening to videos or lessons. These activities help you understand English, which is important. But understanding alone doesn't create fluency. Fluency is a physical skill. It comes from using English with your mouth, not just storing English in your mind. To train fluency, you need activities that involve speaking, reading aloud instead of silently, using vocabulary inside real sentences, not just remembering the word, repeating sentence patterns until they become automatic, shadowing, or speaking at the same time as a native speaker to copy rhythm and tone. That's what graded readers allow you to do. They give you 1. Language your mouth can actually handle. The sentences are simple and clear, so you won't struggle or freeze while speaking. Your tongue learns to move smoothly through everyday English phrases and pronunciation. 2. Stories that keep your brain interested. When your brain enjoys the message, your mouth keeps working without stress. Fluency grows faster when you're relaxed and engaged. 3. Repetition of common sentence patterns. Instead of memorizing grammar rules, you feel the grammar through repeated natural sentences. Your brain starts recognizing patterns. Your mouth starts producing them automatically. That combination, understandable language, enjoyable stories, and repeated natural structures, is exactly what your mouth and brain need to build fluency. In short, you already understand a lot of English. Now you need to activate what you know. Graded readers are the bridge between knowing English in your head and speaking English out loud with confidence. And the more you use them aloud, the more English becomes a habit that your mouth performs naturally without thinking too hard. The daily mouth training routine. Simple and powerful. Here's how to train your mouth every day, even if you only have 10 to 15 minutes. 1. Read aloud for 5 minutes. Pick a short paragraph from your graded reader and read it slowly. Focus on clear pronunciation, smooth breathing, relaxed open mouth. Don't rush. Don't worry about sounding perfect. The goal is clarity. 2. Repeat key phrases. Choose 3 to 5 sentences from your reading and repeat each one 10 times. For example, I need a little more time, please. That sounds like a good plan. I'm not sure, but I think I understand. You are training your tongue the same way athletes train their muscles. Shadowing. Optional, but powerful. If your graded reader has an audiobook, play it and speak at the same time. Match the speaker's rhythm, intonation, and speed. This improves natural expression faster than any grammar book. 4. Retell the story in your own words. Close the book and explain what you just read. Even if your sentence structure is simple, that's okay. The goal is to keep speaking without freezing. Do this daily, and something amazing will happen. You'll stop translating in your head. English will start to flow. Why this works. The science behind fluency. Language fluency is not just about knowledge. It's about automation. Every time you repeat a sentence aloud, your brain strengthens a neural pathway. The pathway gets faster and smoother with use. Like walking, typing, or driving, it becomes automatic. So, when you speak English in conversation, your brain doesn't search for the word. It simply knows how to say it. That is fluency. Small consistency equals big transformation. You don't need to study for hours. You don't need advanced vocabulary. You don't need to sound like a native speaker. You only need clear daily speaking practice, repetition of real language, and confidence to speak without fear. If you give your mouth 10 to 20 minutes of English training every day, you will notice a real difference in 3 to 6 weeks and a huge transformation in 3 to 6 months. This is the path to fluency that works. Choosing the right graded reader level. Many learners make the mistake of picking books that are too difficult. They feel that harder books mean faster improvement. But the opposite is true. If the material is too difficult, you slow down, you translate every sentence, you lose confidence, you stop enjoying the process. Your mouth cannot learn fluency when your brain is stressed. So, here is the golden rule. Choose a book where you understand about 90% of the words without stopping. When choosing a book to improve your fluency, it's essential to pick one that feels comfortable for you. A good rule of thumb is to select a book where you understand about 90% of the words without needing to stop and look up meanings. This is important for a few reasons. The vocabulary should be easy enough that you don't get stuck on unfamiliar words. The sentences should flow naturally, making them easy to follow and speak aloud. You should be able to read aloud without too many pauses, which allows you to practice the rhythm and intonation of English without thinking too much. If the book you choose is too difficult, fluency training becomes more about struggling with the language mentally rather than physically practicing how to speak. When it's too advanced, it creates unnecessary stress and slows down the process. Instead of building muscle memory for speaking, you might find yourself trying to decipher meanings and struggling with pronunciation, which slows down progress. So it's important to choose the right level for your current abilities. If you're a beginner, look for books at a very basic level, like Starter or Level 1. If you're at an elementary level, A2, look for Level 2 books. As you reach intermediate, B1, or upper intermediate, B2, you can handle books at levels 3, 4, or 5. For advanced learners, C1 or above, unabridged novels can be useful, but the key is still to focus on reading aloud, not just reading for understanding. The most important thing to remember is that your goal isn't just academic reading. It's about speaking skills. If you want to improve your fluency, you need material that allows you to speak smoothly and naturally. So pick something that flows easily, not something too difficult or too easy, but just the right amount of challenge that keeps you progressing without feeling overwhelmed. How to read aloud effectively. The key to training your mouth. Now that you have the right book, the next step is how you read aloud. Most learners make two mistakes. One, reading too fast to feel fluent. Two, reading too quietly because they feel shy. Both prevent fluency. Instead, do this. 1. Slow down your voice. Fluency does not mean speed. Fluency means smooth flow. 2. Open your mouth fully. English needs open vowel shapes. Ah, O, E, A. This is very different from many other languages. 3. Exaggerate pronunciation at first. When training, bigger movements equals stronger muscle memory. 4. Read each sentence twice. First time, clarity. Second time, smoothness. This is not reading for information. This is training your mouth like an athlete trains the body. A simple 30-day fluency training plan. When it comes to improving fluency, consistency is more important than intensity. You don't need to spend hours every day. What matters most is practicing consistently over time. By doing a little bit each day, you'll build real fluency. Here's a simple 30-day fluency training plan that you can follow starting tomorrow. The plan breaks your practice into daily and weekly exercises, each designed to focus on different aspects of speaking. Daily practice, 15 to 20 minutes. Mouth warm-up, 2 minutes. Start by gently stretching your lips and tongue. This prepares your mouth for speaking and helps loosen up the muscles you'll be using. Think of it like warming up before exercise. Read aloud slowly, 5 minutes. Choose a passage from a book or text at your current level. Read it aloud, focusing on clear pronunciation and smooth rhythm. The goal is not speed, slow and steady, paying attention to each sound and syllable. Repeat 3 to 5 useful phrases, 4 minutes. Select a few useful phrases from your reading. These could be simple sentences you're likely to use in real conversations. Repeat each phrase 10 times, varying your speed and emotions to make it sound more natural and flexible. Retell the story in your own words, 4 minutes. After reading a section or chapter, close the book and retell the story in your own words. Don't worry about making it perfect. The point is to practice speaking without freezing, so you can learn to recall and use language naturally. Weekly add-on, 10 minutes. Once a week, take 10 minutes to record yourself speaking. You can record yourself reading aloud or retelling a story. Then, listen to the recording and pay attention to 3 things. Clarity. How clear is your pronunciation? Pauses. Are you pausing in the right places, or do you sound rushed or hesitant? Confidence. Does your voice sound confident, or does it sound unsure? Listening to your recordings is a powerful way to track progress. Even if it feels awkward to listen to your own voice, it's an incredibly helpful tool. It shows you areas to improve and lets you hear your growth over time. You'll begin to notice your speech becoming more natural, fluent, and confident as you continue this practice. How to stop translating in your head. The biggest barrier to fluency is thinking in your native language first. When you translate, your speech becomes slow and stressful. To break this habit, you must use phrases instead of single words. For example, instead of learning opportunity, I will try, can you help me? Learn, I had the opportunity to. I'll try my best. Would you mind helping me? Phrases help because they carry natural English structure. They come out faster. They reduce mental processing. Your goal is to store ready-made sentence frames in your brain. Then, during conversation, you don't build sentences, you select them. That is real fluency. Thinking in English, step by step. Thinking in English doesn't happen magically. It happens through small habits. 1. Name objects in English. When you look around your environment, say their names. Chair, window, cup, charger. This trains your brain to stay in English mode. 2. Narrate simple actions. When you move around your day, say, I'm washing my hands. I'm looking for my keys. I'm getting ready to go. Even silently is okay. 3. Use mini questions in your mind. Ask yourself simple things in English. Where am I going? What time is it? Do I need this? Thinking in English begins with simple English thoughts. You don't need complex language to begin. You just need consistency. Breaking the fear barrier. Let's be honest. Many learners don't speak not because they lack knowledge, but because they fear making mistakes, sounding not perfect, being judged. But here's the truth. Fluency grows because of mistakes, not in the absence of them. Think about how a child learns to speak. They make mistakes every day. I goed instead of I went. He happy instead of he is happy. No one laughs. No one stops them. They just keep speaking, and that is why they become fluent. Adults learn faster when they remove ego and allow mistakes to happen. To speak fluently, you must allow yourself to be imperfect. Confidence is not the result of fluency. Confidence is the path to fluency. Accent and pronunciation, a realistic understanding. Many learners worry about accent. They want to sound like native speakers. But listen, you don't need to change your identity. You don't need to eliminate your accent. You only need to be clear and understandable. Your goal is clear pronunciation, natural pacing, comfortable rhythm. Not sounding American, not sounding British, not sounding like someone else. Your English should sound like you, but smooth, confident, and clear. And reading aloud helps you achieve that naturally. What to expect after 30, 60, and 90 days. After 30 days, your mouth feels more comfortable speaking English. You hesitate less while forming sentences. You start thinking in English sometimes. After 60 days, speaking feels more automatic. People notice your confidence. You begin to speak without translating. After 90 days, English flows out of your mouth smoothly. Conversations become enjoyable instead of stressful. You understand your own voice in English. This transformation is real. It happens every day to learners who practice consistently, and it absolutely can happen to you. Final message. Your voice matters. Fluency is not perfection. Fluency is expression. It's the ability to say what you want, how you feel, and who you are in English. You don't need to be perfect to speak. You only need to be brave enough to begin. The more you speak, the clearer your voice becomes. The more you repeat phrases, the more natural your flow becomes. The more you read aloud, the stronger your English-speaking muscles become. Your English is not trapped. It is waiting for your mouth to release it. So take one graded reader. Open one page. Speak one sentence aloud today. That is how fluency is built. One book, one voice, one day at a time.